getting stronger. No traces of the Sovereign. We must force it to show itself.
Perhaps this could work.
not out of the womb yet. The dark tide isn't spreading at full speed. If we act fast and find the Sovereign's weak spot, we might just pull a miracle for Renacita. Let's see. Fire under earth, lightning blocked. That's it. Tethys is showing messy internal frequencies and unstable structures. Looks like after stuffing itself with all those frequencies, the Sovereign's completely scrambled inside. If we can stir up the mess in its gut, even with something small, we might just throw him off balance. And then maybe we can wreck the Earthred wedge back and readjust it.
Terrible timing. Is there any other way to... It's the dark tide. The entire frequency range is under its control. In other words, we're completely cut off here. How vexing. The dark tide's inside. If we feed that monster something else. Right, the anchor stone.
You're suggesting we let the Sovereign absorb the Anchor Stone.
Very sharp. But before we act, there are two things we need to prepare. First, we need to get the Sovereign to open up and swallow the Anchor Stone like a good boy. That will be on you and Augusta, Rover. Second, the dark tide itself must be stabilized to keep the Sovereign nice and solid. My job, naturally. No one else is fit for the task.
No.
The Sovereign is far stronger than before, and you've only just recovered. There's no way you can take on that much resonance energy at once. I'm not made of glass, Augusta. I'm Juno, the most gifted priestess Septimont has seen in generations. If anyone can hold back the dark tide, it's me. And I'm not going to fall on you that easily. Besides, the sacred flames already showed me my end. In the warmth of spring, surrounded by white flowers, with gentle eyes watching over me. But that day is still far from today. At worst, I'll just need more time to recover. Everything's going to be... Then it's settled. I'll let you prepare. Just give me a signal when you're near the Earth Render. I won't be able to hold the Sovereign's form for long, so make the most of that window. Did you forget anything? Useful, isn't it? Keep it close. No matter where you go, a part of me goes with you. Got it? Since I've given you a tool so practical, I'll ask something in return. Just one. Promise me you'll stay by Augusta's side and face whatever destiny sets upon you, together. This isn't a command or a suggestion, it's a personal request. Only you can do this. You know. I think I understand what the unknowable void in your fate really means. It's not nothingness, Rover. All along, it's represented a future that can't be defined by anything but your own will. As long as that void exists, you control your story. Your existence is the meaning itself. So please, support Augusta with everything you have. I've seen how much she trusts you, so trust her in return. No matter what happens, you are not to doubt her in the slightest. That's the spirit. All right, you two. Stop standing around and get moving. The sooner you settle this, the sooner I get to leave this boring place.
You know, one last question. For someone without an unwritten fate, is it true they can never break free, no matter how hard they struggle?
I don't know.
That's all right. Let's go, Rover.
Wait, Augusta! I've been thinking. Our final fate might already be written, but how we walk that path is up to us. We as humans are meant to carve our own way forward. If we can't rewrite fate, then we chase it, outpace it. Then when we catch up, we'll smack it right in the face. Don't forget what you once said. A ruler assumes their place by accomplishing the impossible for their subjects.
Let's head to the borders of Merlin's town. The anchor stone Avidius and the others set there could come in handy.
Oak Hollow. I saw it. Main Street. It doesn't exist. Is it? Because of me. My memories. Here. Why did you...
Booling mentioned even something small could have a great influence. The smaller, the more unnoticed. Come, stand with me to face our reckoning. Let this small thing pry open the cracks in fate's door.
Leave it to me.
is your fate, Augusta.
Nothing, just something on my mind. Do you still remember what the Whispers told me 16 years ago? The dark tide answers only to strength. Those without it are doomed to be forsaken. Now I think of it, it is, rather, I've never told anyone this before. But ever since the dark tide decided to forsake me, those broken whispers have never. They echoed in every battle, telling me when to dodge, when to strike. But with each opponent that fell, the whispers began until I became the Ephor. That's when they returned. Louder, never giving me a single moment of peace. I tried to shut them out. But every time I strayed from their guidance, fate would strike me down in the cruelest of ways. I thought I was the master of my fate. But the truth is, the old prophecy about Raguna, that they once whispered to me. Now, it is time for me to put their power to the test.
What? What exactly do you want to do, Augusta?
Prophecy speaks of a hero of heroes. As I see it, you, Rover, fit that image well.
As long as that void exists, you control your story.
So this is your plan. Using this battle to mark me a hero of heroes so the temple's prophecy will be fulfilled.
Give everything, Rover. I realize this is the duty I must fulfill. Show me your strength. The one that stands beside me on the throne is you. And only you. agency to stop me from fulfillment. Unless I was your target all along. That power you spoke of was always just a trap. Answer me. Who are you? And what did you do to Angel?
The divine is not to be questioned. Unless the Constitution will comprehend the grand.
Rover, what is stopping you from being Septimon's hero of heroes? You, the unwritten one, are blessed to shape your own fate. I must walk my own path as ruler. Go, fulfill the prophecy that was always meant to be. I give my blood, so that the true hero may rise.
Receive the judgment of hands. The sacred crucible shall reshape your soul.
I already said Ramina's divinity didn't get a seat on the show.
This is your end, Augusta.
But we're not done just yet.
Insolent heretic. Of course, that's what you want. We shall launch an endless beast of despair.
My sword.
Cato,
Where's my sword?
what haunts you, my teacher?
A hero shouldn't fall to the dark tide. I need my sword to fight back.
Please, take it. Take it and fight for what you believe in.
Thankless empathy.
Your blood on your flesh.
A loser, left with nothing. How wrong you are.
My lady,
People follow,
allow me to join you.
but it never fails to light their way. This is how I A heart-won battle, wasn't it? Yes. It's all thanks to you, Rover, Septimon's hero of heroes.
In that case, I could say the same to you. As the prophecy goes, the hero of heroes, wielding extraordinary power.
Extraordinary power. That's a bit much. I know my limits, but I do think I've earned that title. And it's one we could share together. Besides, the temple never said there could only be one hero of heroes.
What really happened to you in the dark tide?
It wasn't a pleasant experience. But in a strange way, it was refreshing. If you want to hear the full story, I'll tell you another time. But back inside the dark tide, I think the lost frequencies were always guiding me, shaping who I was becoming, even trapped in that abyss of despair. Those fallen heroes never gave up. They lit a faint, warm light in the dark for me. And you, along with everyone who stood by me. Without you, perhaps the title of ruler is too narrow and too hollow to define the true spirit of humankind. A civilization's glory is forged by generations of brave souls. It was never meant to be one person's medal of honor.
I want to ask you something. Why did you ask me to join the hunt?
Because my warriors and I wanted to fight beside someone like you. And that hasn't changed. But I will be honest. Part of it was because of your unwritten fate. I'd been preparing for this hunt for a long time. At first, all we had were a few vague glimpses from the priestesses and a handful of prophetic murals. No one knew when or how the disaster would strike. And then you showed up. You've surely seen the unfinished mural in the temple, the blank wall and the unwritten fate. So I took a gamble, believing you were the key to this hunt. I couldn't explain it back then, not when I wasn't certain myself. But in the end, we realized what that blank represents. The one who deserves to be a hero of heroes, with power over the earth-rend wedge. Thank you for your Now it's time for me to honor my promise. This is the end of our journey. The earth-rend wedge. It hasn't been quite what I expected. But I'm very glad we made it this far together.
Imperator.
Go. I'll wait for you here. Did you find what you seek? A discoid. Looks like a compass. The structure's odd. There might be a hidden compartment inside. Can you try opening it? If this relic was left by the Sentinel, brute force won't get us anywhere. We'll need a different approach. Maybe a special key, a mechanism, or a password? Any ideas?
There's a friend of mine who, well, she knows a lot about Imperator. She might be able to help solve this mystery. More importantly, her powers are unique. The Earthrender's holding back the dark tide for now. But those sudden outbreaks and the way it's fixated on you, it's not just a coincidence. If anyone can put an end to the dark tide's threat in Septimont, it's her.
Sounds like someone worth meeting. Do introduce me later. I'm curious what kind of person she is. But one thing I'm sure of, she must be a formidable opponent and a figure to be respected. Like you.
You two share a lot in common, actually. I think you'd get along. I'll reach out to her once we're back. She wasn't able to travel before due to some unavoidable reasons.
All right. Let's set all this aside and enjoy the victory we've earned. There's probably a bonfire roaring at the encampment by now. Rover, it's time to return to those waiting for us. We won this battle, but the war is far from over. The road ahead still steeped in blood and thorns. But with you, and everyone who stood beside us, the banner of Septimont will never fall. With the eternal sun as my witness, the name of hero belongs to you all.
What a beautiful ending, my near-perfect protagonist. I must confess, even I didn't see this coming. Should this be your final act? No. No, allow me this small indulgence as your creator. The quill of fate may be sharp and cold, but still I want to see how far the soul I created can go. After all, it's the stories that sink deepest into the mire that stir the heart most. Don't you think?
It's been a while, Rinesita.